All right, I am super excited today to welcome you to another edition of the Breadwinning Women show. I have a special guest with me today, one of my clients, Angela, who is going to share her story and how she's been growing her business over the last 12 months. So let's go ahead and jump right into today's episode. Angela, why don't you start off by telling us about what you do and who you serve?
Okay, great. As you said, my name is Angela. I am the owner of Angie's at Your Service Virtual Assistants. This is our 9th year in business, and we provide virtual administrative support. So what we do is we take businesses from being disorganized and understaffed to having a high level of administrative support to help businesses get organized and fill gaps so that they can grow.
Love it, love it, love it. And how long did you say you've been in business?
This is our 9th year.
9th year. Wow, time goes fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
All right. So what are some of the things that you needed help with in your business before we started working together?
I would say the number one thing that I needed was accountability. You have things that you want to do, growth that you want to build within your business. But a lot of times when you're working on different things within the business, you can get distracted. You can get, off track in different things that you should be doing. And sometimes you get kind of nervous and moving on to different areas. And so that was another thing. Another thing that I needed help with was confidence, and realizing that I am providing a high level of service, and just being able to meet with someone to help me talk through those moments and get through those moments and guide me where I needed to be and be accountable for the things that I needed to do in order to get to the next level.
Yes, absolutely. That's well said. And I think sometimes we don't realize that we are wired best when we have someone else holding us accountable. We did a survey a couple years ago to a group of what the women in our community, and we asked them, you know, what was their level of being great with commitments, keeping commitments with themselves. And
Yeah.
most responses, it was like 90 something percent of the responses were, I'm great at keeping commitments with others, but not so much when it comes to myself.
Right, exactly.
So it's a game changer when you know that you work really well with accountability to just set yourself up for success by being able to have someone that holds you accountable. So I love that you said that.
Yes.
So what are some of the things that you feel that you've accomplished in our time working together?
Well, for starters, making it to 100K.
Yes, absolutely. Congratulations. That was so awesome.
Yes, thank you so much. But you really helped me get through those uncomfortable thoughts within my business, like raising prices with current clients and sticking to it and not being afraid. What if they're going to leave because, I'm going to maybe outprice them, or they're not going to be able to, afford the services anymore. And so you really helped me to push towards the mark, and walked me through that journey. And a lot of the things that you helped me get through and supported me through and gave me that confidence just really helped me fall in love with the business again, because it was no longer just me being stressed out and trying to figure it out all on my own. I had someone to support me, and it was just like, okay, well, I have this idea, let me bounce this off of Jamila, see what she thinks. And, you would help me walk through and get through and actually accomplish some of the things that I wanted to do. So it's been great.
You mentioned that you hit 100K during your time. And where were you in terms of monthly revenue before we started working together? Do you remember?
Monthly, I was probably, going up and down between, maybe like around 6K a month, I would say. I know in 2021, I ended with a little over 77K. And then I ended 2022 two with being a little over 124K. So it was definitely a lot of growth and, well worth the investment in this program.
Love it. That's so awesome. So how did it feel hitting six figures, like finally getting there and crossing that mark and getting past six figures actually with
Yeah.
over 100. Yeah. So how did that feel for you?
I honestly felt like I was the real deal at that point. Even though I've been in business for, this is our 9th year, I've been trying to get to a certain level of success and being able to reach that mark and, say that, okay, I'm a 6-figure business. It's like, okay, well, now we're in business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what was it like sharing that with your family? Did you tell them right away when it happened?
I did. The day that it happened, I went and I told everybody, and they were just so proud, to see us get to that moment. It was certainly a level of success for all of us.
Do you remember what your husband said?
No, I don't. He probably said, "I'm proud of you, babe," because that's usually what he always says. I'm proud of you, babe.
And how has your quality of life improved?
I feel more structured and focused, and also I would say more determined, because now that I've reached that mark, I'm ready to just pound the pavement and keep going. I want to double that now. So, it's definitely improved financially, but also, like I said before, I fell in love with the business again. So me just wanting to continue that growth, it just feels good.
Now, one of the things that you've worked on a lot over the last year has been developing your team.
Yes.
So talk about like some of the challenges that came up in developing the team.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge to figure out what type of personality types would work well with what we provide. Because, just because somebody has a lot of years of experience in administrative and customer service and things like that, didn't always play out to their personality type being good for the service industry. Because coming from being an employee, where you work for an employer in an office versus working remotely from home and serving CEOs of the company, it's teaching them to change their mindset. When you're an employee, if your employer sometimes asks you to do something, it's, sometimes employers are like, well, that's not my job, or, so-and-so is going to do it. But it's not that type of game here. We service our clients, we fulfill any and all requests. So it's having that service mindset and really understanding that, hey, there's no job description here. What they ask for is what we do. And, it's just being able to provide that next level of service and having that heart and mindset for wanting to help, because that's really what we do. We just want to help our clients and get them to a level of growth and development. And it just feels really good to be a part of our clients' success as well as ours.
How do you feel that that's made you improve as a leader? Like, how have you elevated, different than maybe how you saw yourself a year ago? Even now, like getting to a greater level of income can shift how you see yourself in terms of how you lead your team. So what do you think has been a big difference there?
It has made me be more picky, because there is a level of service that is required. And so I want to make sure that, because my clients, and I promote to my clients, that we are serving and providing a high level service-based industry here, that whoever I hire has to have that same mentality and experience on the team. So just being more picky to make sure that whoever I bring on has that mindset to be able to help who we're helping.
One of the ways I've seen you grow, Angela, has been around your ability to coach team members through different challenges that they're happening. that are happening, things that they're doing, in the company that may not work best for your clients. You've been a lot more proactive about supporting team members and walking them through examples and ways that they can improve themselves. And I think that's been very good because as a business owner, a lot of times we're just coaching and motivating ourselves. And
Right.
we can have this perspective, especially when you're paying somebody to work for you, like, hey, I'm just looking for you to do a job and expecting you to do it. But what I think that we don't get to talk about often enough, as business owners, is what is required to really lead a team
Yes.
and helping to inspire other people to be great. It's not enough just to give them a check. You would think
Right.
it would be
Right.
enough, right? You would think it would be enough, but it's not enough just to give them a check. But you also have to like coach and
Yeah.
train and develop your people. And I've seen you become, really good at that. And I think the other way that I've seen you grow is being able to bounce back. I remember you had a couple of hires that weren't great fits.
Yeah.
And initially you'd be like, that's it, I'm done, no more hiring. Like, sick of these people, right? And then it just went from that to, fast forward, 6 months or so, and you have a hire that wasn't a perfect fit. And then you're like, okay, well, now I'm going to hire 2 people instead of 1 person.
Yes.
I would start hedging my bets a little bit better. So I think that's a big transition too, because sometimes when things doesn't go right, when things don't go as planned in business, you put in all this work to be able to hire and get the right person, and you expect them to be really good. And when they're not, we almost just want to like throw in the towel. Like, I'm done with this, and, give up. And that prevents business owners from getting to the next level. I really
Yeah.
feel like business is like a game of Pac-Man, where you are, eating all the pellets on one board, like trying to win that board so that you can advance to the next one. But if you don't accomplish what needs to happen at the phase of growth that you're at, then it's going to be very, very challenging to advance to the next level. And I think that you've been a really great example of trying to tackle what's going on from where you are so that you can actually move your business forward. So kudos to you.
Agree. And one of the things that I really had to, grasp and make sure that I was implementing within my team was that my team is really my number one client. Making sure that I'm investing in them and taking care of them. Yes, I'm strict on, the certain level of service that we provide to the client. However, I have to take care of my team. If I take care of my team, they'll take care of me. So making sure that I'm investing that coaching and that leadership, and, we're very much a learning company. So, we sign up for different programs and things like that. And just, I'm pouring into praising them and, promoting them in different types of ways. So definitely making sure that I'm investing in my team, because as much as I talk about customer service and servicing the client, I need to make sure that my team knows that they are appreciated and that I am serving them as well. So like I said, that they can take care of myself. And without my team, my business really can't grow. And that's one of the things that I pitch to people who are coming to the business. You have to have a back office team. You can't just spend your time working in the business all the time, or you won't be able to get beyond that and have that level of growth. And so I have to listen to my own statement and making sure that I'm continuing to grow the team, even when it gets rough.
Yeah. And that's one of the hardest things too in business is like, making sure that you're practicing what you're teaching. When you are teaching things to your clients that are best practices for them, you want to be able to also be an example of your own products, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and what you're teaching. So that's a really good point. So what are some of the mindset shifts that you feel like you've made inside of the program?
I really had to come to terms with the what ifs, and you've seen me struggle a lot with What if they leave? What if, I'm pitching to a client and they can't afford the services? Just being, I guess, afraid of the unknown, at times, and just really realizing what I have to offer and shifting my mindset. And I heard you talk about this many times prior to actually joining the coaching program. And it was one of the things that made me join. You talked about, if they can't afford your prices, then you're pitching to the wrong people. You have to go where your services or where whatever it is that you have to offer is being able to be afforded. So maybe you're pitching too low. Maybe you need to go, if you're a high-end client, you need to go to other high-end businesses and not be afraid of, those what ifs. And so, just hearing you constantly talk about raising prices and, having them accept what your pricing is and who you are and what you have to offer, as long as, you're offering that high-end service. I had to get over that point, and I wanted to learn more from you to help me get over those what ifs and, just, having that sense of not really being that confident.
I love that you mentioned that, because I feel like sometimes we create stories in our mind about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot. And I don't know what it is. I think it's like, especially a thing for women. I think maybe the guys do this too, but I think especially for us women, part of it is a protective, like we're trying to anticipate what's next.
Yes.
But we're doing it in a way that is against ourselves, right? Yes. Like we're saying, we're coming up with all the worst case scenarios, essentially, for what can go wrong in the business. And yeah, I love that you've been able to tackle that in a way that it's like thinking about the what ifs in a positive light of,
yes.
What if they do accept the price? What if this person does stay on a client? What if I re-invite them to work with me? What if they say yes? What if they're referring people? What if they're excited to, go to the next tier of services? Yes. What if we do start doing more work for them, right? And so now that you've been thinking about some of those positive what ifs, you've seen those things actually come to life, within your business, to the tune of, 50K of growth in just 12 months is really phenomenal. So it's awesome. So we talked a little bit about what you've learned in terms of leading your team. What advice would you give to us, going back to the mindset shifts, what advice would you give to other business owners that are thinking about mindset shifts that they need to make that would allow them to go to increase their revenue year over year?
Yeah, it's definitely taking the time to get confident in your business. You and I spoke, and you helped me with my signature statement, and just getting comfortable with saying those things. It's almost like, you're in school and you're practicing your signature statement. You're coming up with different things to present your business and being confident in who you are and what you have to offer. So being able to just really switch your mindset to being more confident in who you are, what you're building. We're not here because we want to make pennies on the dollar. We have a vision, we have a dream, and just really being confident about the dream that we're building.
Do you feel like your vision for your business has become more clear?
Yes, it has. I actually, through this transition, I didn't have a vision statement prior to then. So, I wrote a vision statement, and I've been using my vision statement. I wrote core values to help instilling that in my team and with hiring. So, when I'm hiring someone now and I talk about core values, just taking the time to really sit with my business is what I learned from working with you. And that enabled me to start coming up with different things. And it was already there, you know, it's already there because you've had it in your mind and in your heart, and it's been your dream. It's just getting it out on paper. It's just opening it up so that others can see it and being able to tell your story.
What do you think is the hardest lesson that you had over the past year?
I would say being okay with change. You know, change can be difficult, you know, and allowing someone else to come in and, you know, tell me what to do or tell me what is best. You know, there were some ideas that I threw at you and you were like, nah. And that's okay. You know, that's okay. You know, you told me the good, the bad, and the different. And, you know, 99% of the time you were right after we talked it over and talked it through, you know, so being okay with change.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I guess sometimes I don't buffer like, no, that's not a good one.
Right. But I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
If I tell my husband something, he's gonna be like, oh yeah, babe, go with that.
Yeah, right.
I need somebody to say, that's not it.
Yeah. That's funny. Okay, is there anything that you would say that you learned, or ways that you've grown, that you want to share with the audience that we haven't talked about?
I've learned so much, you know, and it has been a journey with everything that I have learned. I guess the other thing that I really learned that I am proud of that you helped me with is going over the pricing and being able to figure out the profit margin. You know, I never really sat with my numbers before, you know, and us sitting down and gearing up for that growth and where we want it to be. You take a look at your numbers and, you know, prior to it's, you know what you're making, you can see it in the platform that you're using, but really sitting down, looking at the profit of the numbers, and being able to set up a game plan for the future was something that I never really took the time to do. It was just like, okay, you know, just get more clients, hire more people, get more clients, hire more people, you know. It was just the wheel that seemed like, you know, it's a way to go. You know, if you got more clients, you're going to make more money, you can hire more people, so you can get more clients, so you can make more money. It sounds elementary and that's going to work, but in all actuality, that's not really it. You do have to take time to sit down and look at the numbers, make sure that you're pricing yourself profitably. And us sitting down and taking a look at those spreadsheets really did help. And it's something that I've always wanted to do. But again, that accountability piece, having somebody to sit down and say, you know, here, look at this, you know, next week when we meet, I want you to tell me, you know, X, Y, Z. And it's just like, you know, normally if you set up a game plan with yourself, you're like, okay, I'm going to do that. You'll put it on your calendar. But who knows if you met with yourself next week? Nobody. But I know that, you know, me and Jamila have a meeting coming up, and, you know, she said that we're going to talk about X, Y, Z. These were our plan of actions. Let me make sure I have myself together. So, you know, it definitely helped in many, many different ways, but sitting down and looking at numbers, I really, really enjoyed that part. And it was very, very helpful.
You made me think about, because I've definitely been a part of a lot of different group programs or coaching programs, and something you said just stood out to me that I think is a difference, which is like the hands-on support, right? Like, I really love being able to give that direct hands-on support. Like, let's roll up our sleeves and look at these numbers. You know what I mean? It's not like theoretical, like, oh, here's the worksheet, or just like, you know, here's the video. I mean, you had access to the training portal. There's tons of videos in there and all that stuff that you can go through and watch to support you in your business. But there's a difference when you have someone who's willing to kind of roll up your sleeves and like pull out the calculator and like, let's do these numbers together.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember when we first started, I was kind of like dancing around it, and you were like, what's the number? And you were like, it sounds like you're dancing around. You're afraid to say the number. What's the number? And I was like, yeah, well, I guess I was. And then I went ahead and said it. And after that, it was just like, okay, we're doing this.
Yeah.
She's gonna hold my hand and she's gonna know everything. So let me just, not be afraid to lay it all out because we're doing this.
So who do you think the program is right for?
I would say the program is right for anyone who is, of course, working on growth and development, but you really, really have to be ready for change and advice. If you've kind of got tunnel vision with your business, and so if somebody's going to come in and they're going to, give you advice and direction, but every time they say something, you have a rebuttal for that, then I don't feel as though they're really ready. You have to be willing to try things because, look at me. I've been in business for 9 years. There's so many things that I haven't done. There's so many things that I didn't know to do. I'm a first generational business owner. I've been pounding the pavement trying to figure this out on my own. And I know that there's so many other people who are out there who are the same. And so you have to be open-minded and ready to take that next level and listen to the things that you have to teach, because that's your wheelhouse. Our wheelhouse may be the business that we started, but your wheelhouse is to help us grow it. And if we haven't been growing it all this time, it's time to be ready to listen to someone who can help support that. So.
Love it. And I'm curious, my final question, Angela, is like, what does it mean for you to be a breadwinner?
It definitely means that I have accomplished success. It's not that I didn't feel successful before, but just getting to that 100K number, it just was just like, it opened up so many different doors, financially for the business and, how we looked monetary wise, getting to that number means a lot. And, we talked about sharing it with my family, although I don't remember exactly what they said, I do know how very, very proud they were. It wasn't just something that I was saying, they were really excited for it with me. And that feeling and knowing that how proud they were for me was just really, really priceless. So it's just been fantastic in many different ways.
Love it. Well, it's been my honor and pleasure to work with you. It's so fun having you as a client, and I can't wait to see what you accomplish over the coming years and what you're going to make happen next in your business.
Yes, thank you so very much.
You're so welcome. So let's let people know how they can get a hold of you if they need to get a VA on their team to be able to be more efficient in their business and get their work done. How can people find you?
They can reach me by phone, 856-462-0296. They can go on my website, www.ange@yourservice.com. I'm on Facebook, Facebook.com/Ange@your-SVS. And same thing for Instagram. My handle is actually Ange@your-SVC on Instagram.
All right, awesome. Definitely reach out to Angela if you're looking for a virtual assistant. She has a fabulous business and she's ready to support you taking your business to the next level.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Angela. And I look forward to working with you, continuing to work with you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jamila. It's been my pleasure.